In the vast, silent reaches of the cultivation world, where destiny is written in blood and Tao is carved through suffering, the legend of Wang Lin continues to unfold. Once a mortal bound by fate, now a figure who walks the razor's edge between heaven and defiance, his journey has grown ever more perilous. In the previous chapters, storms gathered beneath a calm sky, old grudges stirred, unseen forces began to move, and the fragile balance between power and survival teetered on the brink of collapse. Wang Lin stands at a crossroads where every choice may summon calamity or carve a path to unimaginable strength. Now, in Recap Renegade Immortal Chapter 683, Chapter 684, the currents of fate grow darker and more turbulent. Secrets long buried begin to surface, and the price of defiance against the heavens becomes ever more severe. As shadows deepen and killing intent lingers in the air, one question remains. Will Wang Lin seize control of his destiny, or be consumed by the very forces he dares to challenge? Let the tale begin. In the silent void between stars, where even time seemed to hold its breath, a storm was about to awaken. A man sat alone in the cosmos, still, unmoving, like a statue carved from eternity itself. This man was Xianxia, one of the three ancient pillars of the Qian family, a being who had walked the path of cultivation for over 10,000 years. In his youth, he had once shared bonds with the ancestor of the Huan family, old ties, old debts, the kind that never truly faded. Now he drifted jutside planet Thousand Illusion, cloaked in white robes that shimmered faintly under the starlight. His appearance was that of a man in his prime, no trace of age, no strand of gray, yet within his gaze lingered the weight of countless centuries. He wasn't here as a representative of the Qian family. No, this was personal, a quiet arrangement, a hidden deal with the Huan family's ancestor. And like all such deals in the cultivation world, it came with a price. I only need to eliminate that reckless junior, and the treasure will be mine. His eyes narrowed slightly, a flicker of suspicion surfacing. But Huan Wuqing, that old fox, has always been miserly. Yet now he offers something so valuable without hesitation. The more he thought about it, the more unease crept into his heart. That sword energy that erupted within the Huan family before, it carried a terrifying aura. It may very well be connected to this junior. He exhaled slowly. I cannot act rashly. I will observe first. If there is an opportunity, I will strike. But if not, his gaze turned colder. Then no treasure is worth planting the seeds of disaster. With that decision made, Xianxia closed his eyes, and the stars continued their silent watch. Days passed. Then it came. A streak of silver light tore through the vast darkness like a falling star, blazing with unstoppable momentum. Upon that light stood Wang Lin. His eyes were cold, his intent sharper than any blade. Ahead of him, planet Thousand Illusion shimmered with dazzling, ever-shifting lights, beautiful on the surface, yet hiding storms beneath. Wang Lin did not slow. He had come here with one purpose, killing intent. Anyone who dared stand in his way would become his enemy. As the silver streak cut through the void, Xianxi's eyes snapped open, his gaze locked onto the approaching figure. And in that same instant, Wang Lin saw him. Their eyes met across the emptiness of space. Wang Lin's pupils shrank, coldness surged within them. So, he has help. Before Wang Lin could advance further, a voice echoed. Incoming one, halt! At first it was soft, but in the blink of an eye, it transformed like a divine command, like thunder rolling across the heavens. Each word carried power, not mere sound. But law, Wang Lin's expression hardened. The silver glow beneath his feet flickered slightly under the pressure. Words that contained the Tao. With his divine sense alone, he couldn't fully grasp the opponent's strength, but with the celestial guard fused within him, he understood. Illusory yin stage. A cultivator standing at the threshold of yin and yang. Dangerous. Very dangerous. Even his celestial guard, though at the same level, was merely a puppet. It could not fully rival a true cultivator of such realm. Yet it was not without strength. Xianxia calmly studied Wang Lin. Did you come for the Huan family? His tone held faint disdain. Wang Lin stood upon his star compass, unmoving. Yes. One word. Sharp. Direct. Xianxia chuckled faintly. So young, and already speaking of exterminating a family. His gaze sharpened. Has your elder taught you nothing? Speak their name. Perhaps I know them, and can spare your life. As he observed Wang Lin more closely, confusion flickered in his mind. Nothing unusual. The boy's cultivation, barely at the ascendant stage. Insignificant. But then his eyes dropped to the shadow beneath Wang Lin's feet, and in that moment, Qianquizi's heart trembled. Illusory yin puppet? Shock rippled through him. What kind of force, what kind of terrifying background could refine a cultivator of yin-yang stage into a puppet and hand it to a mere junior? This was no ordinary matter. This was terrifying, and within that fear, greed quietly ignited. Wang Lin's voice cut through the silence. This is a personal grudge between me and the Huan family, senior. Do not interfere. Qianquizi fell silent. Inside him, two forces clashed, caution and desire, but in the end, greed prevailed. The value of that puppet was simply too great, and if things went wrong, he could always shift the blame to the Huan family. With both families combined, even powerful factions would hesitate before taking action. His eyes lit up. Hand over the puppet, and this old man will step aside. Wang Lin's gaze turned colder still. Within his storage, 2 strands of Ling Tianhao's sword energy remained. Enough. For death. The shadow beneath him flickered. The celestial guard emerged, its eyes ignited with battle intent. Wang Lin raised his hand. One word rang out. Kill. The celestial guard moved 1 step forward. Its hands tore through space itself, ripping open cracks in the void. Qianquizi's pupils shrank, but he did not rise. Instead, his hands formed seals. Ancient chants spilled from his lips. Runes burst forth, surrounding him in a swirling storm of symbols, each radiating immense power. They surged forward, closing in on the celestial guard. The puppet responded. Golden light erupted from its body. In an instant, it transformed into a radiant golden figure. Then it punched. A single strike. Yet the stars trembled. Sound exploded outward in waves. Space fractured, and every rune in its path shattered. Qianquizi's eyes gleamed with excitement. A body refinement puppet, even better. His chant shifted, sharper, heavier, like metal colliding. The runes responded. Lightning erupted. Tens of thousands of bolts formed instantly, weaving together into a vast net that illuminated the darkness. The storm descended upon the celestial guard. At that moment, Wang Lin moved. He slapped his storage bag. A war chariot emerged. Then it transformed. A beast of thunder appeared, roaring into existence, the thunder beast. Its roar shook the hen. Instantly, all lightning froze. Then, as if drawn by a king, every bolt turned and surged toward the thunder beast. Devoured, absorbed, the beast's body swelled, growing larger. It let out a satisfied rumble, lightning dancing wildly within its eyes. Qianquizi froze. His face changed drastically. That is a thunder beast? He staggered to his feet. Shock flooded his mind. Now I understand the sword energy, the puppet. His breath grew heavy. You are from the Thunder Celestial Temple. Fear replaced greed. Without hesitation, he withdrew every rune. His heart no longer dared covet anything. Little friend, forgive me. I was reckless, a misunderstanding, truly. Gone was the arrogance of a 10,000-year cultivator. Only caution remained. The name, Thunder Celestial Temple, was not something he could afford to offend. Not in this lifetime. Not in any lifetime. Because to him, that name meant one thing, untouchable. Wang Lin remained calm. A misunderstanding? Qianquizi forced a bitter smile. Though anger burned within him, he dared not show it. He had provoked first, and worse, he had tried to rob someone tied to that terrifying power. Such a junior must hold status. Otherwise, why assign such protection? After a long pause, he spoke again. My Qian family will not involve itself with the Huan family any longer. Then Wang Lin spoke. I want celestial jades. Qianquizi blinked, then nodded quickly. Yes, yes, of course. Inside, his heart bled, but he had no choice. Provoking the Thunder Celestial Temple meant annihilation. Without hesitation, he took out a storage bag, threw it toward Wang Lin, then turned and fled back to planet Thousand Illusion. His face was dark as storm clouds. The moment he stepped onto the planet, his divine sense exploded outward, covering the Huan family entirely. His voice echoed coldly. Huan Wuqing, you made me offend someone from the Thunder Celestial Temple. I will remember this. Within the Huan ancestral grounds, the old ancestor frowned. He is not from the Thunder Celestial Temple. He came from the Alliance star system, just like my adopted daughter. Qianquizi's fury erupted. Bullshit. You saw it too. The Thunder Beast. His voice thundered. That creature exists only in the Thunder Celestial realm. It is the symbol of their messengers. His anger boiled over. Huan Wuqing, even now, you still try to deceive me. His eyes turned icy. I will remember this. And somewhere beyond the skies, the storm had only just begun. Before the storm of thunder descended, before the heavens themselves trembled, a single name echoed like a forbidden legend, the Thunder Celestial Temple. Wang Lin had heard it before, more than once. Each time it carried weight. Each time it hinted at something vast, something untouchable. And now, standing before the drifting mists of Planet Thousand Illusion, he did not hesitate. With a flick of his sleeve, the star compass vanished. His figure pierced through the planet's atmosphere like a falling star, swift, silent, inevitable. Below him, an immense land spread out like a sleeping beast. Without pause, his divine sense swept across the world. It surged southward, sharp, decisive, locking onto a single destination. Then, he moved, like a meteor tearing through the heavens. Far to the south, within the ancient stronghold of the Huan family, the air was heavy. Huan Wuqing, the ancestor of the clan, stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His gaze was fixed on the sky, dark, unreadable. Behind him, the direct bloodline descendants stood in two rigid rows. Not a whisper escaped their lips. But silence did not mean obedience. Beneath their calm expressions, dissatisfaction brewed. Suppressed, unspoken, yet unmistakable. At his side stood Liu Mei. She, too, looked up at the heavens. Her face revealed nothing, yet within her eyes flickered something complicated, a storm no one could read. Elsewhere in the ancestral grounds, clan members waited in scattered chambers. Not all had returned in time, but those present felt the pressure gathering. Then Huan Wuqing spoke. His voice was slow, deliberate, carrying the weight of authority. Huan Mei, I will ask you one last time. He did not turn. Are you certain that this man came from the Alliance star system just like you? Liu Mei gave a faint nod. No words followed. Silence, once more. The ancestor frowned slightly. How could someone from the Alliance star system possess a thunder beast? Even he could not understand it. What he did not know was a secret buried deep in history. Long ago, the creator of the god-slaying war chariot had forged ties far beyond ordinary comprehension. To refine its beast soul, he had ventured into the Thunder Celestial realm itself, and through methods unknown he had obtained thunder beasts, creatures belonging to the emperor of that realm, a legacy that had now found its way into Wang Lin's hands. Then, the sky split. From the distant horizon, thunder roared. A streak of lightning tore through the heavens, and within it, a meteor descended. It was him, Wang Lin. Beside him, the thunder beast. The creature's body crackled with wild lightning. Its gaze burned with savage intent as it fixed upon the Huan family below. The light scattered. Wang Lin stepped forward. Beneath him, the massive protective formation of the Huan ancestral home shimmered, a vast fortress that resembled a blackened city, like the lair of some ancient ferocious beast. Then, his voice descended, cold, unforgiving. Hand over Liu Mei. His eyes locked onto her, sharp as blades, unyielding. Liu Mei's expression trembled, just slightly. She turned her face away, as if she could not bear to meet his gaze. Impudent. Huan Wuqing's eyes flashed with fury. Junior, break my Huan family's formation first before you dare speak such words. Wang Lin said nothing. His hand rested upon the thunder beast's head, and in that instant the beast roared. Thunder exploded. Lightning erupted across the sky in countless streams. The heavens darkened. Black clouds gathered with terrifying speed, swirling like an omen of destruction. The thunder beast moved. Its body surged with electricity as it unleashed another deafening roar. And then, the sky collapsed. Lightning poured down like divine punishment. Endless bolts crashed onto the Huan family's formation. Explosions thundered across the world. The formation flared to life, ripples spreading wildly as it absorbed and dispersed the incoming force. Yet Wang Lin's gaze only grew colder. Without hesitation, he bit his fingertip. A drop of blood flew forward, landing between the thunder beast's brows. Seal, open. His voice cut through the chaos. The thunder beast trembled. Then power erupted. A storm was born. A true storm of thunder. It expanded outward, dragging the clouds into its grasp. Lightning and thunder gathered, forming a vast net encasing the world. Break it! Wang Lin's roar echoed like judgment. The storm reached its peak. Sand and stones lifted into the air, as if the world itself had lost its weight. Within the formation, the Huan clan trembled. Faces turned pale. Those with knowledge, those who understood what stood before them, their expressions changed drastically. That's a thunder beast. Fear spread. The thunder beast represents the Thunder Celestial Temple. Ancestor, reconsider. To provoke such a force for the sake of an outsider is madness. At last, The suppressed resentment erupted, voices rose, the tension shattered. Silence. Huan Wuqing's gaze swept across them like a blade, cold, dominating. The voices died instantly. At that very moment, the storm struck. The thunder beast itself charged forward. Earlier, it had only summoned lightning. Now it became the lightning. All the thunder in heaven and earth condensed into its form, and it crashed into the formation. Boom! The impact shook the entire planet. The storm fragmented into countless lightning bolts, striking relentlessly. At its center, the thunder beast drove forward like an unstoppable spike. The formation dented inward. The heavens roared. It was as if divine wrath had descended. Far away, within the Qian family, Qian Kuizi sneered coldly. Inside the formation, panic spread, not because their cultivation failed them, but because their hearts did. The people of the All-Heaven star system had grown beneath the shadow of the Thunder Celestial Temple. Thunder was sacred. Thunder was feared. And now it stood before them as an enemy. Still, the formation held. Though battered endlessly, it refused to break. Huan Wuqing's eyes narrowed. If you do not use your sword energy, this formation will not fall, he thought coldly. Exhaust yourself, and then I will strike and end you. But Wang Lin had already moved. His shadow flickered. The celestial guard appeared. It stepped forward and threw a punch. Light exploded. A golden brilliance overtook the world, even dimming the thunder itself. Boom! The formation shook violently, but it endured. The celestial guard did not stop. Punch after punch rained down. Relentless. Endless. Like a storm of fists. The thunder beast roared again, unleashing even greater power. The heavens trembled. The Huan clan's despair deepened. Ancestor, a voice rose again, this time controlled. Huan Wuqing turned. The one who spoke was Huan Fengshen, the head of the Huan family. Fengshen, you oppose me as well? The ancestor's voice grew colder. Huan Fengshen bowed slightly. I would not dare. His eyes, however, did not waver. This man, whether he belongs to the Thunder Celestial Temple or not, he possesses a thunder beast and an illusory yin puppet. He paused. Should we make him our enemy or our ally? His voice sharpened. To gain a friend is to gain strength, but to fight him to the death, what do we gain? All this for a foreign woman? He glanced briefly at Liu Mei. Her cultivation was forcibly raised, her domain is unstable. Even if she progresses, she will stop at yin-yang. He looked back at the ancestor. I understand your desire, but this risk is too great. Liu Mei stood unmoving, her eyes dull, as if none of it mattered. Huan Wuqing fell silent. Then, I know what I am doing. Flat final, Huan Fengshen sighed. He clasped his hands. If that is your will, I will not defy it. Then quietly, but if the formation breaks, I will withdraw. I seek stability, not destruction. Outside, the assault continued. The formation flickered. Ripples spread across every inch. Its light dimmed. It was reaching its limit. From within, the outside world became blurred, distorted. As if separated by a thin veil of water, the thunderstorm raged, the celestial guard struck, and then Wang Lin moved. His hand reached into his storage. A sword appeared. The Rain Celestial Sword. The Rain Celestial Sword. A blade once separated from its kin, now bound to him alone. Sword energy extended 3 inches from its edge. Sharp. Unyielding, it hummed with power. In his grasp, it resonated with the world itself. Because he was its true master. Wang Lin stepped forward, his eyes calm, his aura absolute, and heaven chop!